In this video, I'm gonna explain to you exactly why we don't do the things that we know we should be doing and the things that we know how to do, yet we still don't do them. Now, this is gonna help you in your personal life, obviously, but if you're a coach, you wanna be a transformational agent for other people, you have to understand this piece, because if all you're doing is wrestling with their minds, trying to get them to overpower their bodies with willpower, it just won't ever work. And the key distinction here is what's in our mind versus what's in our body. Most of us are focused on the mental game, the willpower, the setting goals, the focus, the discipline, all those things. But there's a neurological factor that almost nobody knows about, therefore they're not really putting any energy toward it, that's actually keeping us from taking the actions that we want to take or being as committed as we want to be toward our biggest goals and dreams. Now, this video is taken from a call that I did with our brand certified coaches as we were talking about some of the deep issues that we need to be coaching our clients around. So you're about to get some behind the scenes training here. Enjoy.
One of the things that I've been talking to a lot of my clients about, and just in casual conversation or doing, teleseminars or what have you, is how real emotion outweighs anything theoretical, right? And so the way that relates to goal setting is like our clients have goals and they have actions that they want to take to get those goals. Most of our clients have phone calls to make or some kind of outreach like that. And they get frustrated because they have a fear of rejection or fear of failure, fear of success, etc. The two big ones that are really in their face is the fear of rejection and the fear of failure. And it's frustrating. And by the way, this isn't only what our clients deal with. I mean, this is what all of us deal with as well. But just to use that as an example, what's frustrating to them is that they intellectually understand, right? They intellectually know the solution to failure or fear, right? False evidence appearing real, or so some will, some won't, so what, someone's waiting, every no gets you closer to a yes. They know it, they teach it, they train it, they hear it all the time. And so the stories in their head are saying the right things around things like fear and failure, those concepts. They get it, they understand the solutions, but they don't feel the solutions. What they feel is the pain, right? Because if you trace back everybody's fear of failure, there's a moment that they experienced, and experience gets lodged in our body. Anything that we experience gets lodged in our body. So I mean, we are literally carrying around all the experiences of our life. We're carrying them around in our energy. We're carrying them around in the emotion. That's why when we do something like VAK and you ask somebody, okay, where's that anger showing up? They can light it up in their body because it's there. That's really where it is. And there's a lot of philosophies that humans hold on to their different emotions in the same places in their body, right? Like if you're holding on to it near your throat, that means you're not speaking up. And if you're holding on to it in your legs or your back, that means you're not stable. There's philosophy that connects like where we hold on to the things in our body and what it actually means. So our experiences that we go through in life are lodged and remembered in our body. And our unconscious mind values those experiences more than anything that we can just dream up, because our dreams and our theoretical constructs are not felt in our body. They're just made up, right? And it's kind of like, if you remember, the mind generally holds on to things that it makes up and things that it remembers in two different areas of its brain. The memory is usually up and to the left. Construct is up and to the right generally. So if you're going to make something up, the brain does it over here in this office space. And if you're going to remember, it does it over here in this office space, because that's just the vault where it usually stores its memories. And so it holds on to things differently. Similar to that analogy, it holds on to our emotions differently. And so when we make things up, it has no foundation other than our dreams, actually come from a place, they come from a desire, and those desires do come from experiences, right? But the thing itself that we make up has no foundation in its form, in the exact form that we have constructed. And so it's really, even though it is based on an experience, it doesn't sit on an experience. Whereas our pain and our fears, they sit on an experience. So if you take a look at somebody who has a fear of failure and trace that back, there was some point in time, which is what we do with timeline therapy, try to figure that stuff out, right? There was some point in time, you trace it back, where they experienced failure. And that failure created embarrassment, it created shame, it created pain, it created anger, it created all these negative emotions. And the unconscious mind says, I'll never do that again. Or I will protect myself from that. If it's something that was done to us, I'll protect myself from that for as long as I shall live, right? Until it gets reorganized, which is, some of the work that we do as coaches. But that painful experience lives. It lives in the body. And not only does it live in the body, it's been operating and we've been carrying it around since that time. And those moments are usually way in our childhood. So if we're 40 years old and that thing happened when we were 7, then we got 33 years of trying to avoid that thing and feeling that thing when it gets triggered inside of us, right? So we have 33 years of real experiential emotion. And then we get emotionally drunk and say, yeah, but I want to make $1 million. I want to get into the pink Cadillac. I want the white Mercedes. I want to make 6 figures this year. I want to lose weight. Okay. Which weighs more? Something that you constructed based on a desire that you have, or something that you felt for 33 years? To the body and to the unconscious mind, this weighs more. It doesn't matter how much you try to convince yourself how incredible this will be. I never thought of this, but will be and is are completely different, right? It's like cashing a check. If you have a check, you can take it to a bank and cash it. If you have an IOU, nobody's cashing that thing, right? What will be is an IOU. It's you're telling your unconscious mind, if you help me do this, I'm going to owe you these emotions. I'm going to give you these emotions. I'm going to give you the happiness. I'm going to give you the joy. I'm going to give you all of these things that I think are in here. And the unconscious mind goes, yeah, you think, but you don't know that they're in there, because if you knew, I would know, right? So we don't even know if that IOU is true. And even if it is, I've got a check over here that I know is true. So would I risk touching this pain that I've been experiencing for 33 years? Would I risk touching this pain that I'm positive will hurt to maybe potentially someday feel an emotion that I'm not even sure about? That's where the frustration lies, because we're trying to motivate ourselves with IOUs. It's like emotional IOUs, and we're trying to motivate ourselves through the emotional fire to hopefully one day maybe experience an emotional IOU. And the unconscious mind is like, I'm not playing that game, because the unconscious mind actually hates risk. The unconscious mind does not operate on risk. The unconscious mind operates on what it knows. And that's why, even though logically it doesn't make sense to so many people, that's why the unconscious mind is more driven by familiar than unfamiliar. That's why we will stay in comfortable misery, because we know what that looks like, rather than chase unknown happiness, because we don't know what that looks like. And the unconscious mind is like, no, I don't want to risk not knowing. I don't want to risk instability. I don't want to risk out of control. So the unconscious mind values control and stability more than happiness or any positive emotions. So we try to motivate ourselves saying, no, but we'll be happier over here. The unconscious mind goes, yeah, but I know over here. And until you teach me something known, until you show me something known, I'm good here. No, 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 but this is really painful. I'm good. I'm good here. I've been dealing with that pain. I know what that looks like. No, no, but this is going to be really fun and really adventurous. And I know people that have touched that, and they told me stories. Yeah, I'm not interested in your stories. I'm interested in what I know. So that's the fundamental distinction between our emotional IOUs, which I never thought about. It's a cool concept, to known pain. And so what we need to do is create known experiences, right? That's why small wins are so critical when we start a new process or we try to build a new habit. Small wins are so critical because we have to take in known feelings. We have to start gathering experiences that live in the body to start chipping away at the things, the negative experiences that already live in the body. And most of society doesn't do that. We're under celebrated, we're underappreciated, we don't live in gratitude. That's one of the reasons that we don't grab some of those known experiences, right? We don't hold on to it, we don't put it in our body because we're so focused on everything that we haven't accomplished yet. And by us focusing on all the stuff that we still haven't accomplished yet, we're not consuming any known experiences. And then even when we do accomplish that, but we don't celebrate it and we're not grateful for it, then we just look at the end of our headlights again and we don't pay attention to where we've become. We've again robbed our bodies of experiencing progress or success or gratitude or pride about what we've done. And so that's how this negative anchor of emotions that's rooted in our known experiences becomes like a parking brake, right? No matter how hard we rev our engines, we can't go very far until we start speaking in the language that the unconscious mind knows and needs. So, and this is a pretty new awareness for me. So we've really got to focus on known experiences, and we have to notice them when they come in so that we'll lodge them in our body. It's almost like we've got to look around our environments and pluck things out and put them in our bodies, because every time we pluck something out that's a positive experience and we lodge it in our body, then it causes, you know, one of these other little things to need to be discharged a little bit, right? Or at the very least, and I don't know if scientifically, neurologically, if that's actually happening, but you know, with the analogy of the bathtub full of water, you put something in, something has to come out. At the very least, you're starting to build up the stack, right? So that we've got something else to fall back on that's real. Because most of us, what we're trying to do is we're trying to fight reality with theory. We're trying to fight the reality of what we know in our lives with theoretical constructs of what we think and hope is going to happen to us if we go through the fire. And it's just simply, it's just not going to happen. I mean, for most of us, it's just not going to happen.
Now, if you like this video, watch this demo coaching exercise where I help a lady access what's in her body to get over what's in her mind. This type of coaching is something I call neurotransformational coaching. If you want to be a really powerful transformational agent, you have to help people make shifts in their neurologies, not just in their intellect.